Hello and welcome to Cutter Farms. We're back with another episode of UMRV Upper Mississippi River Valley by DJ Modding. And today we're still in the first week of March here, but I've been a little bit busy off camera. I thought while we let the field cultivator finish over there, or I should say the chisel plow finish over on our other field there, I got the mower out and decided to give this grass field a quick cutting because we are going to plow this up and turn it into a legitimate field like I did on the other side of the creek here. And it turns out that this grass was ready to go and we're getting quite a bit off of it. But rather than try to do all the detail and maximize how much grass I got off of here, we just jumped out here, used GPS, and I cut the bulk of this field up the easy way. I didn't try to get perfectly around the outside edges. I didn't try to get everything up around the house and everything either. We just did a few main passes there, and I counted my rows and made sure that we were going to work out perfectly here with the windrower, which I think everything is working out very nicely. So we'll be able to just jump out here real quick and pick this up and get it into the harvest store pretty quickly. We did run out of hay while I was feeding the cows, but we've got a few weeks worth of feed all mixed up. If I bring up the menu real quick, we've got, 200,000 liters just about there, 150,000 here. So we're doing pretty good. Want to say I'm using about 1,000 liters an hour or 24,000, 25,000 a day. So that's at least, and when I say a day, I mean a week. And so that's at least a month and a half in each of those different barns, almost 2 full months in the one barn. So that's going to let us get into having more hay at a little bit later point in the year here. However, since I'm not quite sure how well that's going to work out just yet, I thought, we've got the grass sitting here. Why not use it? And we can always jump back over into the new field and start cutting a little bit earlier if we need to. That grass in the new field here is looking pretty ripe. I'm not sure if it's supposed to stay this other color now because it's actual planted grass as opposed to, I don't even know, the pasture grass or whatever you want to call it. However, it does look like it's about ready to harvest, even though it's a little splotchy. I don't know if this is going to fill out some more. It says it's in a ready to harvest state. It also says that our nitrogen and pH values are terrible. So our expected yield is not what it could be. We're about 25% below what our maximum possible yield is. So we'll probably jump out here and spread a little fertilizer on this ground. Maybe even get some lime out here at some point. I'm not sure. Before we go to cut it, but that's not a job for today. For today, I just wanted to get this grass picked up here real quick so that I can jump out here with the chisel plow and get this other field turned into an actual field. So first things first, let's go ahead and get these forage boxes brought out here to the other field. And then I'll actually have to run back over here and grab the chopper itself to get over there. But these were already hooked up like this. I might as well just bring them out there together. And I'm just noticing our fuel level as I drive by that fuel tank. I know we talked about it last episode. I really need to take a moment to refuel most of our tractors. Oh well, there's always tomorrow, right? So I'm going to drop this back trailer right over here. And I'm going to just go ahead and move this tractor with the second trailer down here somewhere out of my way. We're going to go grab that forage harvester. We'll fill the first one up, and then we'll be all ready to switch. If I'm not mistaken, we left the forage harvester right up in here. Oh, I do have the ProForce. We might use this to spread a little bit of lime on the fields. I can't see what's in here. Oh, there is. It's lime. Good deal. We might actually spread some of that on our grass field here once I get both of the fields finished putting in here. That way we can not only use up some of that product that we've got sitting in there, but also that will allow us to improve the yield on these two fields. All right, we've got this thing all hooked up now. Let's see if we can jump right over here and start going to town. We gotta get the pipe going. Here we go. Perfect. This is, whoops, working good outside of the part that I can't drive straight. And I think I'll just jump in cab here for a bit and see if that'll help me stay on the straight path here. I could always, I guess, set up a GPS course or something to help me go straight on this, but where's the fun in that? We're filling up that forage box pretty quickly. We're already at, let me see if I can shift it over, 0.6 tons. I think this thing holds right around 2 ton, maybe a little bit more. This hill always freaks me out a bit. The equipment really leans on the side of the hill here. It's quite difficult sometimes to do the turn and look back and look forward thing when I'm doing in cab here, though. That's the only part of this I'm not the biggest fan of. Got some branches scraping across the top of the cab there. If we just jump back to an external view, we've got all kinds of grass. So it looks like I'm going to get full just doing a single round here. We're already at 50%. I'm going to try and clean up a little bit of this pile here on the end if I can. We didn't quite hit it as well as I would have liked. We'll take a part of it this time and maybe I'll clean some more up next pass. There we are. So we should just make it back to the other end. We might not quite make it 100%, but it'll be really close. And I'll be able to switch out. So we only have 2 carts worth of the really long stuff. And then I've got, at least I think, I'm trying to look here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so I should be able to do this in 3 wagons total, which is going to help keep us in the hay for the next couple of months while we're working on our overall silage situation. I can use both the alfalfa and the clover as essentially haylage and turn that into silage so that we can use that in the TMR mix if I don't get to the corn fast enough. But we might have enough corn to get there. If I just look real quick, we've got quite a bit of silage left in here still. So I'm not too worried about it yet. It's about half full, a little bit less than half right now with silage. And we made it through all of the winter and a good chunk of spring here already with that. So we'll see, we'll see. I always just get a little bit nervous, and it looks like I just got full. So let's go ahead and dump this wagon here, I guess. I should have backed out of the way a little bit, and I'll leave this wagon here in kind of the most awkward spot to hook up to it, honestly. That's all right, we'll figure it out. And I'm going to go ahead and run this up to the harvest store here real quick. We don't have any auto drive out into these little grass fields or anything, so it'll be just easier for me to get this started. It takes such a long time to unload that since we've only got 3 total wagons that we're going to be running here today, I can afford the downtime to stop and unload real quick before we move on to the next part. There we are, dumping our hay. And let's go ahead and see if we can get hooked up here. Shouldn't be too hard. And before we get going, I might as well clean up this little bit that I missed here. And we'll jump right back into this other long row. I thought I had a whole nother long row over here. So the fact that we don't means we're definitely going to get this into 3 wagons, no problem. We'll follow this all the way back down to the end here and pick up these other rows, and I'll check back in when we get full here. Hopefully the other forage box will be emptied out at the harvest store by then, although it does unload notoriously slow. All right, I'm coming up on the end row here, and since I know we're going to need another wagon out here anyway, I don't think I'm going to spin back around and try and take it partially down a row. That's just going to make it more inconvenient for us to get the other tractor out here. So instead, I'm going to pick up a little bit of these tidbits that I left, and we'll leave the wagon right up here in the corner and go grab that 7810 and see if I can get everything switched back out. We've got a few embarrassing bits that I missed picking up here on the first pass. And of course it is all emptied out and good to go here. Perfect. We'll just run this right over then. It's always nice when things work out with appropriate levels of timing. I'm a big fan of my life being easy. I think we'll bring it in right here, kind of at an angle behind the chopper. I should be able to hook that up. We'll find out in a second. It's not as much of an angle as I was hoping for, to be honest. Oh, it works, no problem. Look at that. All right, let me pull this out of the way a bit, and we'll do the same thing we did last time, which is get this thing unloading while we finish harvesting this field up. Chopping the field, I should say. Are we really chopping? I mean, we're picking up. I guess we would technically always be chopping with something like this. One thing I do need to do is officially make this a driveway entrance, though. I use it often enough to just come right in here by the harvestor. Oh, and it's the first time I've used this wagon in since I started the game. Gotta hit the eye on the rear door and come back around for a second try. There's a lot of miscellaneous oddities with some of these mods. But once you get used to it, they work all right. There we go. We're dumping the hay. And right back over here to the chopper. We're gonna get this last round done real quick like here. And then I think we're going to jump right in here with the chisel plow and see if we can turn this into a field. And I won't lie, the more that I look at this other field over here to our right, the more I feel like I really need to remove this one tree in the corner here. It bugs me that it looks so awkward back here in the corner. Whoa, we're missing grass. So I'd really like to get that fixed up at some point. I think we'll wait until after we harvest that grass for the first time to get in there and chop it down and clean up that corner with some tillage, though. I don't want to monkey with it right now. We've done a lot of this miscellaneous grass work and field cleanup in the last couple of episodes. I'm really interested to get planting our row crop plants this year. We've got a 12-row Kinsey planter that we're going to start off with, although I'm really beginning to question whether or not that's a big enough implement for us, or if that's just going to take way too long for my patience level. And we've got a fair chunk of money from our grain proceeds here sitting in the bank that I could definitely use to upgrade some of our equipment if I wanted to. And I have also spent the time to fix the field lease mod. So we're no longer going to get charged an exorbitant amount of money per month. We were getting charged 4 times the amount of money that we should have been according to the prices. And so I've fixed the bug with that mod and also reached out to LS Mod Company, and hopefully they'll implement that fix at some point on the Mod Hub version. However, at least I've got it fixed on my end so I can continue to use that mod, because I really wanted to have more leased equipment and not such a huge loan taken out at this point in the game. At least I was hoping to use that loan money to pick up a bunch of new equipment here in the save over time, but instead we are using all of our loan capabilities to buy up the fields that we're farming right now, just to kind of keep things moving without losing mountains of money every day that passes. So I'm going to go ahead and just run this wagon over to the harvestor here with the chopper, since we need to get back up in the yard anyway. And then I'm going to, let's see, we'll get everything disconnected here and switch out to the 7810, I think, to unload this like we've been doing. I need something with a PTO to get these forage boxes unloaded. I mean, not really, not by farm sim way of things, but my brain just can't handle running a PTO equipment, a piece of equipment that's PTO driven, with a piece of equipment that doesn't have a PTO. I just can't do it, folks. First steps first, I'm going to go ahead and just drop this one in the yard. I think I'm going to end up doing the same thing I did before, where I hook them to each other and bring them back over to where they go as a single train. And then let's see if I can show off my mastery of backing up and do this on the first attempt. Oh yeah, no problems. We're getting better, folks. While that last wagon unloads, we're going to jump over here into the 9630, and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of our course play course and drive this back up into the yard. We have completed the necessary tillage up here in this a large field in the corner of the farm, and that means we're all ready to take this down over by the farmhouse there and turn that grass area into a proper field. Still unloading. All right, so I'm looking at this field. I'm trying to figure out the best way to tackle this. I don't really want to be up here in all of this really low, kind of messed up area of the farm. So maybe it'd be better if I start on that far side over there where I know the tree is more or less in the way. And what I'm going to do is kind of get lined up where I want to be. And then I'm going to back into it so that I can square things off how I want. Give myself a little bit more backing up speed here. Here we go. I think this is about where I want to be. I'm going to pull forward before I start actually doing the tillage. And I think just to assist me a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and leverage GPS to make sure I'm getting a nice straight field line. And let's pull forward a bit more here. Lower things down. Y to create fields. Perfect. Look at that. Looking good. Should I take this all the way down? No, I think what I'm going to do is actually do the curve now while we're here. And I'm going to stay a little bit further away from that creek than I was previously. And I'm going to see if I can get on the next GPS line over here. Oh, that's mighty close, but it should work out. A nice gradual curve here under those tree branches without getting too close. Looks mighty fine. And this is going to ensure that I end up with a perfectly width field for at least this tillage implement. Not that I'm going to be coming back out here to do more tillage, but it will make things a lot easier here for making sure I get good, clean, straight lines, at least on the bulk of this, because I can use the same GPS track without having to reset anything. And having a straight line all the way down this edge of the field as opposed to something that kind of curves in and out around the trees should make automating the work on this grass field a little bit easier in the future. Because again, the whole point of this is so that I can make sure that we're able to use automation to do the grass work for us in the future. I'm really not a huge fan of doing lots and lots of grass work. It's just not my favorite part of Farm Sim. Now, this is about to be problematic, so we've got plenty of field here, I think, to come out here and do this pass. However, that tree is going to be right in my way, so I am going to have a little bit of a divot here on this end as I come up and around this tree. Unfortunately, not to be avoided. And then I'm just looking down here again as we go. That's a really low spot, so I think I'm going to have to curve around this a little bit too, and then curve back into where I want to take my GPS track. I just don't like having to mow down that steep of an incline. It wasn't the easiest thing to mow and rake on. And we'll then gradually come right back in here onto the main line again. That's not the worst. It's a little bit curvy over there, but I'll take it. I think it's going to work out pretty well. Course play will be able to handle a little divot like that without any problems. And the trick here will be stopping at about the same point as we started so that I can have a nice square start to the field. Something about like that should work out pretty well. And then I'll just get turned right around here. I've got a little strip from before we got the GPS started that I'll need to take it back off here. Here we go. Looking good, looking good. And that leaves us with just one round to do here in the middle part of this field, which should be just as easy. So let's go ahead and get back on the old GPS track and go down and back, and we'll be all done with this field. This field was a lot easier than what I did over there. There was a lot more contour in that field. And really, I don't feel like we're wasting, so to speak, that much field area here by not going to the edges. A little bit down there, but really look at how hilly that part of the grass was. It really wasn't worth getting over there with the mower, in my opinion. We're on the way back up. It looks like we're just about done. Last little corner here. Everything went so smooth with this field. I'm super impressed. I don't know why. I guess I was just expecting to have a few more problems than this, but we ended up in a pretty good spot. I think I'm going to go ahead and wait for this to finish folding up before we keep driving around. Don't need to put any undue wear and tear on the hydraulics. All right, let's see if I can get everything switched back over. We'll get this pulled back up here into the yard. We're going to need to refill this tractor. Everything needs to get washed on the farm right now, I feel like. And we're ready to put some grass seed in over here now, I think. So I think I'll leave this right here in the main yard for now. We can get things cleaned up and refueled a little bit later. I am going to put grass back in over here, I think, though. I was thinking about whether or not we should do alfalfa or clover or something over there. But honestly, until I know that those crop types are going to work and I'm going to be able to update things to handle them, we're just going to run with grass right now, I think. I did get a response from DJ Modding on the alfalfa and clover situation. I believe he said that it will regrow at the end of the year. However, I think it's a single cutting for the year right now, if I'm not mistaken. And he said that he's going to be changing that in the next version of the map so that it behaves a lot more like grass, where you'll be able to get multiple cuttings in a year. He said he's going to speed up that growth time on the clover and alfalfa. So that'd be cool. I always love when modders don't just wrap up a mod and then move on with things. He's going to come back out and do some improvements and keep supporting it, which is awesome. DJ Modding's always been real good for stuff like that. And here we go. We're all lowered in. I should probably get a GPS track going here because this tractor likes to bounce around. And much like our last few fields, I probably shouldn't be drilling this into newly plowed soil, but it is what it is. Now here I could probably curve around like the land does, but we're just going to plow right on through. I think this setup can take it. Although I do have this tree here, I guess we'll have to work our way around. Dodge, dodge, dodge. There we go. No problemo. And I think maybe what I'll do is actually just do the headland parts here as long as I'm here. Keep following this around with a little bit of overlap. Make sure that we get good grass in all of this area. I suppose I could have put the lime down ahead of planting the grass seed, but that's all right. And oh my, it looks like this is just a slightly different width than the field tools here, the chisel plow. So I am going to have to just come through here and overlap. It's such a minute amount, it's almost a shame to have to plant anything over here for the couple of feet that we've got. Oh well, I guess I won't complain. We'll see how the actual mowing equipment stacks up against all this, because that's what really matters. I don't think we'll have to come back in here with the drill and put new grass seed in anytime soon, hopefully. So it's really just about whether or not the mower and the windrower and stuff like that is going to stack up out here nicely. And the good thing with the mower is that it's a significantly narrower implement overall, so the chances of overlap, if they do happen, the chances are that they'll be not overlapping by nearly as much, so it won't feel like quite as much a wasted effort, so to speak. And of course I've got this little bit here before we got on a GPS track that we'll have to clean up, but I've got to get back out of the field anyway, so I can clean that all up on our way back out of the field. Oh, I missed a few little spots as we were on that weird hill section there on the curve. We'll have to clean that up on the way back out as well. I should probably try to level some of these sections out with the smoothing tool maybe, if we're having this much problem with the cedar here, getting them. But I don't remember having that many problems with the mower, so maybe we'll just live with it. Maybe I'll see if I can jump back in there and seed on that from a different direction and see what happens. And we'll take this as an opportunity to just grab our GPS track and do the overlap pass now on the way back up. Let's see if we can patch this up from a slightly different angle here. Looks like I might have gotten that. And I'll just come down here as long as we're here and grab these other little missed bits. At least these missed bits. I'll have to hit that corner of the next pass. I can't quite reach over there. There we are. It's looking better. I didn't quite get it all, but I bet when I swing in here from this side, I'll be able to knock this out. All right, we got the corner bit. I might have just missed a couple feet there on this piece. Normally, I wouldn't care about a little bit like that, but unfortunately, with a grass field like this, you're going to see it for the rest of eternity because I won't be back out here with the drill for quite some time. So we might have to take one more pass around a couple of these areas and just make sure we get all the little pits, all the little missed bits and pieces. But all in all, I have to say, this worked out very well. We've managed to make pretty short work of this entire project. I was thinking this might take a little bit longer, but we really knocked this out today. I've got to remember, I got to come back and do this one spot. Maybe we'll do it now, and then I can just jump back into my GPS track since we're already over here. Let's do that before I forget about it. I'm wondering if I can do it maybe heading this way. Alright, let's try that again. Maybe this way. I got most of it. I think I'm good. I think there might be just this tiniest little sliver down there that is missing a bit, but I'm okay with that. We'll live with it. If I really cared, I'd get the land leveling tools out and smooth that part out just a little bit, but I don't care enough. I think it's working a-okay for us. And we are going to have to rebuy our precision farming data for the main farmyard, since the whole farmyard is one larger land plot, and I think it's going to cost me the same $7,000 it did to get the previous field. So we'll do that here in just a second as well, just to have that data. Let's see, I think I need to hit this corner too, right? Yeah, perfect. All right, let's get this air drill all wound down. It is a noisy implement, that's for sure. And just like that, we're starting to get to the end of the day here, but we got all of this work done. I'm really excited about that. I'm gonna pull this up into the yard and we'll take a quick look at the map, see where we ended up. And as long as we're pulling in here, let's set this thing up at the fuel tank, get it all refueled. $500. Oh my goodness. Quick look at the map. You can see our two new fields here, which are actually pretty decent sized. I mean, this field is bigger than field 5 for sure. This field's bigger than field 4. I feel like this field's bigger than the two of them combined. So we've added quite a few acres to the farm as official fields by doing this. And if I click on here, I can purchase soil information. It is the full 7,700 again. That's all right. It's worth it. Now we've got field information down here. Perfect. Really looking forward to getting into all of this now. Awesome. Well, I think that's going to wrap up today's episode. Next episode, we're going to start by moving the clock forward here and planting our corn and soybeans, which is an April event here. We've got to get all of those planted. We'll probably hit the corn up first and then get into soybeans, since we've got a little bit longer of a window to get the soybeans planted if we need it. And I know we've already talked about this in the previous episode. 23 is going to be soybeans, and then I think 3 and 6 are going to end up being our cornfields. That'll give us plenty of corn for both silage as well as putting some in the bins to use for dry corn, selling it, getting some money for it. I think dry corn is going to be pretty profitable for us. And yeah, we got tons of cows on their way. We're getting closer and closer to that reproduction point, which I really think is going to double up how many cows we have. I can't wait to have 500 cows in here, which is the other reason why we were chopping a bunch of hay today, is knowing that in just a few more months, I'm going to need twice as much food to keep them going. And if we look here at the menu, you can see I've got just shy of 200 tons of silage stored and only about 6 tons of hay. So I've got a lot of work ahead of me if I'm going to get enough feed in the bin here to keep us going through the winter. In fact, I think we're probably going to end up needing to find a secondary source of storage for our silage and hay materials, because we're just not going to have enough silage to make it through the winter if I've already used as much as I did going through the winter with only 500 total cows. If I go up to 1,000 or more, because we do have this third barn over here, which is also, if I'm not mistaken, set up to hold another 500 cows. And so if I go up to a total of 1,500 cows, we're going to have a need for a lot more food than I've got now. However, that's a problem for another day. I'm going to get our vehicles refueled here. We're going to get this equipment washed up and put away. And next episode, we're going to jump right into planting season. Well, that's all for today. Kedrick, out. And then I think... Oops. Oh, where'd that wood pile come from? Ah, door.